We've got 3 so far.
We got 3 bluegills.
So my son's in the kayak off to the right of me, and he's got a fish on the line there to pull in. If I'm not mistaken, it was a small sunfish that he was working on bringing to the boat. So it was his first time really out fishing in a kayak. I think he had a blast. I had him tethered to me just to sort of help him out throughout the day, which I think, you know, he's a little nervous at first taking a fish off the line, and you know, water conditions were perfectly calm. There was almost a 0 breeze, a little bit of a drift here or there. I did anchor up around that structure that you can see in front of us. That's where the majority of the fish were holding up that he was interested in catching. Later on the video, I'm sort of trolling for some catfish, but for the most part, he had a good time catching a few little sunfish. I think we kept most of them. A few we threw back. They were just a little too small, but he had a fun time pulling them in with his starter rod and reel there that he was using.
Hold on. What'd you say? I got them from the manure pile. I mean, that's plenty here if you want to try them, but it's just little fish. It seems to be.
So here's this where I was able to notice I had a catfish on the line. It sort of surprised me because I just had it in the back rod holder on the kayak, and once I knew he was on there, I gave the rod to my son and pushed him away so he could fight the catfish. It turned out to be a small catfish, but it was a good fight for him nonetheless. Since the few fish that he had caught were just you know, small sunfish or panfish. And the unfortunate thing though is the catfish it ran into some existing line that was underneath the lake and got tangled up on like a log that was submersed under the water. So we sort of had a time trying to get that untangled, and we finally got the catfish up out of there, but it sort of took a little bit of the fight out of it because he would get wrapped up into the log, and then, you know, the fish would stop fighting and you weren't sure if you snagged the log or what was going on. So it was kind of a weird situation to be in, and it took me a while to figure out what was going on. But we were able to get that old line out of the water, and then you know, get the catfish up, which you'll probably see here in a few minutes.
I don't think there's anything on here.
No,
No, there is something on here.
yeah, that's what I said, there is something. We got a catfish, we'll get the catfish.
Oh my.
Make sure to say that I caught that.
I don't think there's anything on here.
There's nothing
doing? Oh, he's caught around the...
Oh, okay, okay.
Damn it, he's caught around the... There's this...
What?
There's a, like a stick sticking up out of the... And the line's wrapped around that.
Get that fun feeder.
Come on, run.
Oh!
Yeah, he's caught.
I'm getting away. I don't want him to sting me.
Squirrel.
Didn't we catch a squirrel? Or fish? I need to see that thing. The only thing we need to get now is a bluegill.
It's like there's somebody else's fishing there or something.
Oh,
Wait him out. If you just want to cut the line, that's fine. See you in a second. Can't do it both with one hand, man.
how do you have another line?
What?
How do you have another line?
There you go. What do you mean, how do I have another line?
You had like 2 lines on the same fish?
Somebody else must have snagged their line under the water, and when I reeled it in, the fish must have tangled up in it. Nope. Sorry, man. Keep reeling, keep reeling.
Oh, look at that! Here, get me! I don't want to go this way!
Dan, it's okay. You can go to the bank, it's okay. I'll get him. Hey, if you hit the bank, it's okay. All right, all right. Just hold on to the rod, you don't lose it, okay? Oh, I'm anchored up. It's okay, Ben. Don't. If you want to. Alright, put him down in between the legs there. Hold him to the rod. Hey, pay attention to the rod and the hook. Okay? We're not going to go anywhere. If you hit the bank, you hit the bank. Okay? So that's a little sunfish. So you want to keep him? Tangled. You want to try and catch some more? He's all the way down. No, he's all fixed up there, man. Okay, just hold on to the rod for a minute. I need you to hold the rod and hold on to my boat. Keep the hook and the rod away from me. Point the rod out that way. Just put it between your legs over top the kayak. Just lay it down.
I know what I can do. I can do. Okay.
That'll work. Just hold on to the kayak. Okay, so I reel in the anchor rope so you can get it back to where we were. The last time I think I caught a crappie. I think that's bluegill.
So this is going to wrap up my second video log. We had a pretty good time fishing today on a lake there in northern Virginia. And my next trip is scheduled out to the Outer Banks, southern part of North Carolina, just a little further south of where Emerald Isle is. So hoping to catch a few flounder and some red drum on that particular trip, so I'll be watching for that video shortly.